One, two, three, four, five, five, four, three, two, one. Good morning, everybody. Jim Adkins here from Adkins Coaching. And as you see today, I left the moniker on there, 26 Days of You. We're going to go back to that for some of these workshops, and especially this workshop. I've been doing some research on the brain. And what prompted me to do that was some memory loss that I suffered through some medical treatments that may or may not have been helpful, but in doing so, it worried me. And there's always been a little bit of worry about Alzheimer's or dementia in my later years. I've seen, my grandmother suffer from it. I have people in my life that are dealing with it now, if not themselves, their loved ones, and it's a real concern. So, as you move through life, you sometimes it's a little late to start taking care of yourself. Well, it's never too late to start taking care of yourself, but you know what I mean. So it became an issue, it became a concern, and I started looking at ways to improve my memory. This is where it all started. And one of the things I came up with first was to be in the moment, to be cognitive of what's taking place, and that's a habit. So one of the things that you can do for brain health, especially if you're looking to improve your memory, and listen, there are a lot of experts out there, and I'll give you the names of a couple of people that I'm looking at the end of this video, but one of the things you're looking for is to improve your memory. Be in the moment. And if you're paying attention and you're in the moment, and the circumstances that are taking place actually change or move you physically, and I mean like create an emotion or create a connection or that kind of thing, you will remember. It becomes a memory. It becomes embedded in your body, which becomes your memory. And that's a way to help. I always thought little tricks would, I had heard that you could create tricks to create an association with things to have a better memory. And I didn't like that idea. And I'm sure it works for some people, and it's okay. We do word association through the martial arts. When you learn a technique, the names help you kind of remember what's moving forward. But tricks, to me, if it works for you, fine. For me, I really wanted to be cognitive. I really wanted to honestly and sincerely remember. And like I said, that was a habit of mine, not being cognitive, not showing enough respect for the moment or the person I was speaking to, I think, in hindsight, that I just couldn't remember. And then it became the norm. And I wanted to change it. So I started looking different ways. Now, you know that I'm changing my body. I'm working on getting really healthy there. And with that comes diet. So I stumbled across some ideas and some books, some information. There's a lot of experts out there on what to eat for brain health. So today, part one of this series, and I'll do another one on next Friday, which will take us a little further into some esoteric ideas and some deeper thoughts for our brain health. But today it's about what you eat. Now, I know that might be boring for some of you, but you'd be surprised at the crap that you're putting in your body right now that's destroying your brain. I was. And it didn't stop me. I mean, some of the things that you're not supposed to eat taste incredible. And we love them, and we're used to them. If you're over 30, you've been spoon-fed some pretty crappy food over your life, and in the advent of, hey, this is better, this tastes better, and so on. I remember growing up in the fast food, not generation, because I'm older than that, but there was a restaurant called Sambo's that became Village Inn. I think those types of restaurants, lots of quick fast food. I remember Kentucky Fried. I'm not going to drop a bunch of names here, but just suffice it to say that in my early childhood, my siblings and I enjoyed lots of bad food, and it became the norm. So I'm going to tell you today real quickly some things that you can add and some things that you can take out. Now, on the way to do this real quick, and I won't take a lot of your time, but I want to tell you there are different types of people. You know that. There are different types of ways to learn and motivate. Some people motivate away from, some motivate towards. Some people are kinesthetic, some people auditory, some people are visual. Those differences will dictate how you take this advice or information. You can tell a certain person, eat only this, and do that and it'll work. And they'll buck against it because you told them what to do. I'm not going to do that. And then the other person will take your advice and do only that and benefit from it. So What type of person are you? I'm going to try and lay this out neutral so that you get to make a decision and I'm not making it for you. Okay. So, like the children that you raise, if you raise children, um, the thought would be, do you plan a path for them and make them follow it, or do you allow them to discover for themselves? That's going to dictate how you take this information. So, one, let's start with the harder stuff. What can you eat? Well, you can eat just about anything, okay? But some of the things that you could eat or should eat, I don't like the word should, some of the things you could eat that will improve your brain health immediately. Omega-3s. So you get your fat, and I wrote these down so I didn't forget them, right? Good fats are good for your brain. So omega-3s, salmon, eat fish. And I know some people don't like fish, so you can find other ways to get it in supplements, but omega-3s is a big one. Avocados, coconut oil are really good for you. Blueberries. I was told that blueberries are superfood, right? We hear that all the time. Antioxidants. Walnuts, good for you. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate's one that's on the list. I kid you not. It's good for you in small amounts. There's one of the thoughts behind the person who put this out there was that I'd watch was that if it makes you happy and it's good for you, it tastes, the stress hormones decrease, and that's good for you too. So dark chocolate was on the list. They want you to get some fiber into your diet, and of course that's these are simple diet rules, right? Colorful veggies. Colorful veggies was a big one. They want you in. Now, in my research, as I lift weights and I'm working on my bodybuilding stuff, I'm really interested in timing of food and when you eat. And one of the things they were saying for the brain foods, and I'm going to do more research, but I'll give you this now, lay it out there. They said not to eat carbohydrates in the morning. And some carbs are good for you. So carbs, fat, and protein, you got to have that balance. And I have been doing that in the morning. I get my protein during and after my workout, and then in the evening. And they're saying to switch that around. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm going to talk to my coaches, and I'm going to do a little more research, and then I'll put it to the test, and I'll let you know how it goes. But that's one thing that they said you could do is eat more proteins and healthy fats in the morning. It'll make you feel fuller. It'll slow your digestive down, and it'll give you that extended energy rather than that boost of energy. So that's the science behind eating the proteins and the fats in the morning. Get your carbs at night, right before you go to bed, because they burn quicker in your body and your metabolism. Not right before you go to bed, but at dinner time. Does that make sense? So that's the science behind that. Now, here's what a lot of people. Now, if you're not the type of person who can add things to your diet or take, eat the good stuff, and how about taking stuff out? Let's see if that's you, because this is something I'm going to do again. I'm going to relook at my diet. I did it when I did the cleansing diet, and I'm going to reapproach it because we've added things back in. I'll make sure I'm doing the right things. Remove all refined sugars. We hear it, but man, they taste good, right? If you're addicted to sugar at all, it causes inflammation in your brain, and it's leaky gut, brain fog. It's one of the main culprits to bad brain health. So refined sugars, get rid of them. And I'm not attacking any industry. I'm just repeating what I learned. And I am not a doctor. I am a research person, and I'm doing lots of research. And I love to learn new things. But sugar's toxic. Starch, refined starches, they say to cut the starches out of your diet too. And I think, for me, I think I'm eating a little bit of starch. So I'm going to go back and see exactly what I'm eating. I'll let you know what I eat. Sweet potatoes, I believe that's a starch. So we're going to talk about that. Trans fats. The person, and I'll quote Dr. Mark Hyman. Dr. Mark Hyman is one of the people I've got the research information from. You can look him up. I learned about him through Jim Quick. And Jim Quick's got some pretty interesting stuff out there. I love Jim Quick's stuff. KWIK, Jim Quick, if you want to look him up too. But Dr. Mark Hyman said that trans fats should be illegal. They're so bad for you that they should be illegal. And they're part of, and I can't quote him, so I'm going to paraphrase. So you need to look it up yourself. He blames trans fats, refined sugars, some grains, gluten on pre-diabetic or diabetic pre-Alzheimer or dementia, and they lead into each other. His science and his research says that the diabetes and the pre-diabetic people actually have more percentage of dementia and Alzheimer's than other groups. So that's something to look at. One of his quotes, not mine, was big belly, small brain, because the worse you eat, the more shrinkage you get. And I don't know how inflammation shrinks your brain, but right. Anyway, your cognition or your cognitive abilities are hindered. So those are things. So cut, and these are the three big ones. Let's see, where are the three big ones? Cut gluten out, cut dairy out, and cut sugar out. Get trans fats completely out of your diet. Oh, and he said that colored dyes, and we've all known this, any food with colored dyes in it is really bad for you. So those are the things. So let's review real quick, and I'll let you go. There's some books that you can look up. All you gotta do is type in brain health, and there's a plethora of things that you can come up with. But here's some things that I want you to remember: eat superfoods, eat your vegetables and your fruits. Blueberries, they said get good, clean fat sources. So omega-3s, fish, nuts, that type of stuff. Watch what you eat, though. And avocados, coconut oil are supposed to be really good for you. Get some fiber in your diet, eat some colored vegetables, cut out sugar, cut out starches, refined starches, cut out trans fats completely. If you can, cut out gluten. Now, I was the guy with gluten when it first came out. Oh, I'm allergic to gluten. I'm allergic to gluten. That was like a bull. That's no such thing. Because in my mind, allergic meant achoo. That's not what it was. Okay, it's just a reaction in your body that's not favorable, whether it's your stomach or your brain. And gluten is there's a real deal there. It's not. I don't think it's deadly, but the deadly gluten. But I don't know, cut it out and see what happens. And that's it. That's it for today. One of the topics I can give you for flexing any muscle to make it grow, flex it. Read, learn something new, get plenty of sleep. And you'll hear about this on Friday. We'll do some physical things that you can improve your brain, but they're easy ones, right? Read. And if you can, I would love for you to comment on here and tell me what you're reading, or tell me your experiences. If you've made some changes or tried some memory programs or tried anything to improve your brain health, or have witnessed other people decline because of certain activities or certain things that you're sure of, please share that. I would love to hear these. And I don't get a lot of people that share on here, but share this video with as many people as you can. This is an important topic. And if you like it, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But more importantly, I want to hear some comments. I want to know some testimonies on if you've ever done this, or if you're doing it and it's working. Dr. Mark Hyman says that during a 2-week study, and it was more than a 2-week study, but it took 2 weeks for results, they took a nursing home or a home for people with Alzheimer's and dementia. And what they did, they changed their diet, but only changed 3 things. They took out gluten, they took out dairy, and they took out sugars. Okay, now this is research. Dr. Mark Hyman says that this actually happened, that all these patients, and to quote him, he said they were drooling in the corner. Sound a little disrespectful, but we know what that means. And they took those out of their diet. That's it. Those 3 things. And within 2 weeks, they were functioning. And by functioning, he said they were up, talking, walking, they were animated. And that to me is awesome. So if those 3 things make that big of a difference, you can bet that I'm going to be reapproaching my diet and see what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to let you go. I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. Please do me a favor, comment. Let me know I want this research to continue, and I want to know from you where I can take my research if you got questions or things like that. Okay? All right. I'll see you next Friday, if not before. And until then, on your mark, get set, grow.